Welcome back to another episode of The Buzz. I'm Brock Owens alongside Jesse Cain and Gwyn Napier. Today we'll be talking about traveling that we've done in the past and we look to do in the future. All things Thanksgiving, some interesting facts, and what's been on our minds and maybe even grinding our gears lately. All that coming right up, so stay tuned right here on The Buzz.
Zuzik into the end zone, almost untouched.
The middle, back out to Delaney, 3-ball. How about, yes.
Cuts up inside, into the end zone. Touchdown, Trenton Carter.
Obviously, traveling hasn't been a big thing this year, and especially out of the country traveling, which is pretty much non-existent. But Gwyn, what are some of the best places you've been in the past?
I don't travel a lot. That's not something that I do. I definitely would like to get into it more, but my family goes to Orlando, Florida pretty much every summer, and it was definitely different this summer considering COVID was happening and we weren't able to go anywhere. I also like going to DC and just hanging out.
All right, so Jesse, how about you? Have you been to a good bit of places out of the country?
So I'm a traveler, not necessarily by choice, but my dad was in the Air Force, so we got to travel all over the place. I've lived 7 years in Europe, and it comes with its pros and cons. I've gotten to see many different cities like Rome and Paris, London, all those places. So I've traveled a good bit. One of my favorite places, and I recommend this to anyone in here, is Rome. Rome is my favorite place in all of Europe and probably the whole world that I've been to. And also outside in the countryside, Tuscany in Italy, it's so beautiful and it's rich in culture. The countryside in Tuscany, Rome, you've got the old architect. Everything in Rome is just, it's beautiful to me. It really is. But we like to go, my family likes to go on vacation to the Outer Banks for the beach trip. And we do that every year. We like the Outer Banks because it's more of a private beach and we have a bigger family. That's when we like to all get together. You know, most of the kids in the family are older, so it's one time where we can all gather together and we get a beach house and we have a private little beach that we can go to. I mean, we don't own the beach, but in the Outer Banks, it's not as popular and there's not as many hotel fronts. Like, it's just a couple feet of sand and then you got the ocean right there. It's really relaxing.
I don't travel too much like Gwyn, but I have been a few places. I've been to Niagara Falls a few years back, and I'm actually going over the break, over winter break, and the only time I've ever been to the beach was this past summer. I went to Wildwood Crest in New Jersey, and I had a pretty good time there. Now, what are some places you guys would like to go in the future? Jesse, we'll start with you.
So like I've said, I've been to a lot of places in Europe and out of the country, but I haven't gotten to visit a lot of places inside of America, especially like New York City. I've heard so many people, you know, whether they love it or they don't like it, you have to go there and visit with all the different skyscrapers, all the different attractions, different shopping, everything like that. So definitely New York City. And then I like down south. I think I'd enjoy some Nashville, their culture and, you know, rock and roll. And then you got New Orleans, the party city. I'm not a big city fan. Like, I enjoy more of the country and the cabin life and beaches, but I'll take the occasional weekend trip to visit a city.
And Gwyn, do you have any places on your destination that you would like to visit?
Definitely my top place I want to visit before I die is definitely Bora Bora. That is just on the top of my list. Along with New York, like Jesse, I really want to go to New York. I've actually had my trip planned to New York for quite some time, but everything always comes up and cancels it. And then my last place that I want to visit is Paris. I think it's just beautiful and I just want to visit.
Yeah, much like you two, I think New York City would be a great trip. And I also would like to go out to California, whether it's San Francisco or LA. I've always just felt like I definitely need to go there at some point. And I've never really thought of going out of the country too much, but if I would either want to go someplace in Italy or Jesse really made Rome sound really nice, so I might want to go there sometime. So definitely a lot of great places that we could visit in the future, but that's all for talking about traveling for now, and when we get back, we'll be talking about all things Thanksgiving.
It's a Saturday night. You know what that means. Time to party. Sam is having a good time, watching sports, drinking beer, playing Pong. Not a care in the world for Sam. Nobody at the party stopped Sam. They let him walk out the door with his keys, even though he was stumbling, having a hard time to stand up. What happened less than 10 minutes later would change Sam's life forever.
So with Halloween now in the rear view, Thanksgiving is coming up next. So Jesse, what are your thoughts on Thanksgiving? What's your favorite parts about the holiday?
Thanksgiving is probably my favorite holiday there is, and there's many reasons. The first, it's a family holiday, so we all, like I said earlier, pretty big family, we all get together, and it's one of the only times that we get to see each other now that we're older and enjoy family time. We like to play charades and some different games, but that comes right after we eat a lot, and I mean a lot of good food. There's all types of different food. There's sweet potato casserole. These are some of my favorites. Sweet potato casserole, roasted smoked turkey. That's how my dad cooks it. He's got it down to a science. He puts this ladder out there. He puts this, I really don't understand it, but he's got like this boiling water and he's got it timed up. I think it's very dangerous, but he's been doing it for a while and it's the best way to eat turkey. So Gwyn, what's some of your favorite Thanksgiving foods?
I definitely like pumpkin pie. That's my favorite by far. Just skip all the food, go straight to pumpkin pie for sure. But I also think that turkey is for Thanksgiving and Christmas is for ham. There is no, it's just Turkey Day. They call it Turkey Day. Why would you eat ham on Thanksgiving? It just doesn't make sense.
Well, okay. So, yes, Thanksgiving is for turkey. I agree with that. I think Thanksgiving, turkey's the best on Thanksgiving. But you can't take away ham from Thanksgiving. That's also a necessity. Some people, they might not enjoy the turkey. Maybe, turkey can be hard to cook. A lot of people don't bake it right. Ham, easy to do. It's cheap too. You just get it done. So I don't think you can count out ham.
No, another thing also is I definitely do not like my food touching. I do not like it touching at all, so it's very difficult for me on Thanksgiving to just fill this plate of food and all of it be touching.
So is this for all your foods, such as mashed potatoes and gravy? Or is that something you mix?
No, I definitely put gravy on my mashed potatoes. I do, love that. But then the gravy runs onto my plate and infects the other food.
Well, what about the turkey?
Okay,
you eat the turkey with the gravy?
Yes,
too?
but if I'm eating corn and my gravy goes in my corn, then that's not good.
I agree with that too. Sweet potato casserole is on my plate at all times, even though it can be considered a dessert.
I don't like sweet potatoes. I think sweet potatoes are a disgrace to the potato family.
Oh my grandma makes the best sweet potato casserole because it has nothing to do with health at all. It is all the sugar and all the bad things you can think of to make the greatest dessert ever. She puts marshmallows on it. I don't know half the stuff in it, but it loads me up. It is basically a dessert.
The worst feeling is going to get pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving and getting sweet potato pie. It's literally the worst feeling.
Well, what about the pumpkin pie roll, the pumpkin rolls? Do you like
those are good.
Those
yes,
are good.
I like
Okay,
those.
we can agree.
I just don't like sweet potatoes, and they look exact. Pumpkin pie and sweet potato pie are the exact same thing. They look the same. So you have to know what you're getting.
Okay.
It's happened to me very many times. It's very traumatic to me.
Now, Jesse's not going to like this, but I definitely agree with Gwyn on a lot of those things. Number one, first and foremost, and everyone makes fun of me for this, but I don't let my food touch. I don't do it. Obviously, like she said, I'm going to put gravy on mashed potatoes, gravy on turkey, which I'll get to turkey in a minute because I don't like turkey at all, by the way. I think turkey's disgusting. I don't like any Thanksgiving food at all, except for mashed potatoes and something you guys didn't mention, I don't believe, which is green bean casserole, which I think is very underrated. And definitely pretty solid. But one of the biggest things that people don't like to hear is that I don't like stuffing at all. I think stuffing is the most gross thing. I can't palate it. What do you guys think about stuffing?
I don't know how you can not like stuffing.
This is something that Gwyn and I can actually agree on because I thoroughly enjoy my stuffing. Listen, this is the plate lineup. Turkey, mashed potatoes, and gravy. The gravy can go over to the turkey. And then you got your green bean casserole. I'm okay with green bean casserole. But stuffing too. Stuffing is necessary with your roasted turkey. Like, it goes so good with it.
No, see, I definitely get a few plates, not gonna lie. I have to go back because there's never enough room on my plate because I don't like my food touching. But usually on my first plate, there's definitely turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes and gravy, and rolls. I love bread so much. So
Do you put your butter on it? You put butter in the rolls?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes,
you're not
I do.
totally weird. How about apple butter? You ever had apple
Oh,
butter?
I love apple butter.
It is
It's
the
so
best.
good.
Apple butter. You can also, I'd like to put honey and butter on my rolls. And we also make cornbread for Thanksgiving too. That's something
I feel like
that
you
goes
just
in.
have all the food.
We
like
do.
Any food
My
you
grandma
can
makes
imagine
everything.
is just there.
That's why it's the greatest holiday.
No,
That is what.
I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I definitely think that Thanksgiving is a stepping stone to Christmas.
Okay, so I think Thanksgiving's my favorite holiday until Christmas comes. So you can consider it stepping stone, but as long as you just don't diminish the type of holiday that Thanksgiving is, then I think we're okay here.
I definitely enjoy Black Friday too.
Black Friday, the shopping, Cyber
definitely
Monday,
do.
now that that's a thing, all the online shopping too. I think that will
Yes.
probably be a big deal with COVID.
Yeah, do you think they'll do it the same?
I mean, I guess the stores can't have as many people if the guidelines and restrictions are still in place. So that will be something to see. I haven't really heard anything
It's
about
definitely
that.
going to be different. I definitely feel like they'll give a head count, like on websites or something saying this is as many people as we can fit in the store at a time, like get there or you're not going to be able to get in. I definitely feel like that's something that will happen.
They'll
for sure.
probably also make their deals a lot online, and they could even do like they can even give out more special deals. I think that a lot of people might be not really afraid, but they might not even want to take the chance of going out just to get Christmas gifts. Or they could just wait until later and hope that by then that COVID's not as big of a deal as it is now.
I noticed that Target and Walmart are doing the whole month of November is a Black Friday month. So I think that's one way they're doing it is so you can just get the deals all through November.
What about these these Christmas decorations that are already up?
Oh, I would put them up right now if I could. If I was home, I'd put them up.
So I'm a little upset about Waynesburg. They have their Christmas decorations already set up. But I thought about it, and I thought about it deeply, and I won't get mad at them. I'm upset. I won't get mad at them because we won't be here for
That's
Christmas.
what I'm thinking. Like, listen, I have every pair of Christmas socks you can imagine. And I'm already wearing those bad boys because like we won't be here for everyone to appreciate how great my Christmas socks are. So I have to break them out now so everyone can see them before I have to go home.
I agree. But what about Christmas music? What do you think about Christmas music?
Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas. Great.
I totally agree. I think that Christmas music, so I'm a big Thanksgiving guy, but I think that Christmas music should come out the week of Thanksgiving. I'm not big on it has to wait right until after Thanksgiving. I like Christmas music. I think it's one of the greatest genres of music of all time. And to only put it into 1 month, one 25-day period, because let's be honest, after Christmas, after December, everyone's over it. They're like, oh, what's the new hits out? But right before you're all getting into that festive mood, you want to, liven it up, and Christmas music is definitely underrated.
I definitely feel like you can jam to Christmas music anytime. I
Well,
definitely do.
Depends on who you're with, because I get a lot of hate for it, just in the month of November, especially for my family. My family's big, no Christmas music till after we eat the turkey on Thanksgiving, that type of thing.
All right, so we definitely all got a lot of thoughts about Thanksgiving and, of course, about Christmas. But that'll do it for our talk about both Thanksgiving and Christmas. And when we come back, we'll be talking about some very interesting facts.
Today we're going to be touring the 4th floor of Buell to see how the Department of Communication can help you. The Department of Communication offers many different programs in the communications field. Our first stop on the tour is the Mac Lab. It's great for digital design majors and for editing in general. Our next stop is the Yellow Jacket Newsroom, home of our student-run and award-winning newspaper. And look, it's journalism major Drew Rhea. Let's chat with him.
My favorite thing is the camaraderie between all the communication students in the department. We grow really close. We're a very close department. We're a fun department.
And up next is our award-winning television station, WCTV. Let's chat with Chris Halls.
Getting the opportunity to be so involved right off the bat, whether it was the radio station, TV, or the newspaper.
Let's move on over to WCTV's renovated control room, and hey, it's Madison.
I enjoy the community that is created within the comm department. We're all super close.
Our last stop on the tour is our Public Relations Office, home of Red Brick Communications, and our award-winning chapter, PRSSA. Let's talk with Emma.
I really love this department on campus. It's one of my favorite, not that I'm biased or anything, but what I love about the Department of Communication is just the closeness of all the people in it, all the students, all the faculty. We truly are like one big family.
There's so many little interesting things about this world, and you couldn't possibly know them all, but we're about to add just a few more things that you can know to your repertoire. Now, Gwen, what is an interesting fact that you have come up with?
Definitely, I was reading some interesting facts today, and the most interesting one I found was that the Queen of England's handbag is actually how she communicates to people. For instance, if she wants to cut the conversation short or feels like it's going on too long, she moves her handbag from her left hand to her right hand. Or if she wants to stop the conversation, like completely just end it, she puts her purse on the ground and they just have to stop talking.
What if her arm just gets tired and she has to switch hands?
I don't know, that's a good question. maybe they're like, oh, okay, well, she doesn't want to talk to me.
So what do you have for us, Jesse?
So Brock, I've done some interesting studies in my lifetime, and I found that, you know how usually when you're sick, only one nostril gets congested? Well, the reason for this is because of the nasal cycle. And only one nostril works at a time, believe it or not. So the reason for this is that you'd be too overwhelmed with all the scents going around. And also, if both of them worked at the same time, then they would dry out and they could even cause bleeding. So it's kind of a health factor that only one works at a time. But it's really interesting how only one nostril gets clogged up, and that's because of the nasal cycle.
That is pretty interesting. While you were saying that, I was over here like testing it. I can't really feel a difference or anything, but I mean, I believe it. It sounds factual enough to me. A couple facts I have two actually. So the first one is that KFC's Twitter follows 11 people. 5 of them are the Spice Girls, and the other 6 are just guys named Herb. And why they did this is because KFC's secret blend that they have is made of 11 herbs and spices. So they did that on purpose to follow 11 herbs and spices. And a little thing about that too is the first person that noticed that KFC was doing that, KFC sent him a picture of him riding Colonel Sanders. And then the second little fact that I have is that California actually has a population bigger than Canada by almost 2 million people. And I thought that was actually just insane because, I mean, I know California has a lot of people, but more than an entire country, like, what do you guys think about that?
That definitely is crazy to think about. Comparing like just sizes as well, that's just crazy.
Yes, I agree.
I mean, I understand California has like a lot of big cities with LA and San Fran and San Diego and Sacramento and a bunch others that I didn't even say there. But that is a little crazy that just one U.S. state has a larger population than all of Canada. Now, we all have things that kind of grind our gears a little bit. What's something that's been on your mind lately, Gwyn?
Definitely that the election is still going on for the third day. it just seems crazy to me that they're taking so long to count the votes and just figure everything out. And I feel like part of it's causing drama and part of it's just like people don't even care anymore. They're just like, tell me who my new president is. I really don't care at this point. Just like, let's get it over with.
I think on a more serious note, what's really upsetting is that people don't accept the fact of mayo chup. Mayonnaise and ketchup mixed together. This needs to be normalized. Like, put it as a law. This needs to happen. People hate on me because of this. I think Gwyn hates on me because I like mayonnaise and ketchup mixed together.
I just don't like mayonnaise at all. So like, and you judge me for ranch and
pineapples. She eats ranch and pineapples together. What about pineapples on pizza?
No.
No, but you will eat ranch and pineapples.
Yes.
Pineapples and pizza, I accept it as long as it's a Hawaiian pizza. If it's like pepperoni and cheese and then pineapple, it's just no good.
I like how Jesse said on a more serious note when Gwyn was talking about the election and then he talked about mayo and ketchup. A very serious note to go to, Jesse. I appreciate the effort. Something that I want to talk about is that people, and this has to do a little bit with the election, but people get too caught up in everything that happens, and especially the election. They're getting all caught up in it. And I know the world is really crazy right now, but I mean, just take a moment to breathe and to just be alive. Like, everything in the past, like, you don't have to let it weigh on you all the time. Like, just chip away, go get it, get after the day, go get your goals. You'll be there someday, but for now, just relax a little bit. Don't let everything that happens in your life just get to you. I mean, so just keep being yourself, keep moving forward, and just be you. Just be relaxed, man. And with that will do it for this episode of The Buzz. Tune in next time.
This has been a production of Waynesburg Community Television.